Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Libby chat. And today I have with me Kelsey Matheson, business coach for women and mom. Kelsey, welcome. And please tell me about yourself and your background.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. I'm excited for our chat today. I'm Kelsey Matheson. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been building businesses for over 20 years. I was an entrepreneur before they even most people knew what that word meant. They were like, "You're you're an entrepreneur." And I'm like, I build businesses. And so I own a yoga retreat center in Costa Rica called Anamaya Resort. I own a backpack and outdoor gear company that helps to put kids around the world through school. I'm the creator of the Optimal Health and Conscious Living Academy, which helps women with the most misdiagnosed and misunderstood areas of women's health. I had a yoga clothing company for a while. I've built multi-million-dollar businesses, and I've built total flops and everything in between. And what happened was I found a lot of female entrepreneurs were coming to me saying, I want to learn more about what you do and how you do it. And I never thought about being a coach. That was never one of my goals per se, but I had a lot of women coming to me asking for help. So I started coaching. And so now I've become a success coach for women, which I love. And for the past 6 years or so, I've been growing my coaching business. I'm originally from Canada. I moved to Brooklyn, New York 4 years ago with my husband and my now 10-year-old daughter, soon to be 11.
Mhm.
And so we're here now in Brooklyn. We, making this whole pandemic thing work for us the best we can, and just navigating our lives as they are now in this kind of crazy world. Everything going on as a Canadian in the US. So yeah.
Right. Well, quick couple of notes for people who are watching, for people who are watching live in particular. Sorry, we're late. A little bit of a technical issue there. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that actually, though I asked you, Kelsey, to tell me about yourself and your background, it was actually for people who will be watching this live and the replay, because I have known you for a million years. We've been good friends since back in I think 2002 or so, or something like that. And we worked in the film industry together and on a theatrical production together. And you are now my business coach. So this woman is one of the women you are helping in the entrepreneurial world. And you're helping me as an author, and you're helping me as a canine and feline massage therapist. And anybody who is interested in that kind of thing, you women entrepreneurs out there, check out Kelsey's info. I will put a link to your site, Kelsey, in the comments. And because Kelsey's incredibly helpful. She's a true blessing in my life. So anyway, and thank you for joining me today to talk about Libby. So let's dive into the major themes of Libby, if we could. And one of those themes being, having to do with one's self-esteem and how that may be bound up in your view of yourself, and the possibility and the thing that many people do, viewing their differences from other people as flaws rather than great assets, which is more likely the case, I would say. Please give me some of your thoughts on that kind of thing, Kelsey, and how it comes up for you when you're helping you're helping business women.
Yeah, it comes up a lot because I think as an entrepreneur, you're putting yourself out there, and you're putting yourself out there in a way that can be pretty scary. They say that people talk about public speaking being the scariest thing. They would prefer death over public speaking.
Oh, wow. That's
it's that drastic. And I'm not saying that being an entrepreneur automatically means that you're speaking in public, but entrepreneurship means that you're taking a risk and you're putting yourself out there. And what I found with most women is that they are learning about their X factor. or how I help them is to learn more about their X factor, because they step into the world of business and they're like, well, how am I going to compete with all these other people who come before me? How do I compete? And usually, because we all can relate to this, we come to the table with, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not charming enough, I'm not attractive enough, I don't look like all those people, those influencers on Instagram or whatever it is. How can I compete? And so one of the things that I love to talk about is your X factor. What makes you unique? Specifically,
Yes.
what makes, because I talk about this story a lot. There was a Facebook post I saw once, and it was like, everybody's a coach. Everybody thinks there's a coach. You don't have to be certified. They just think that, oh, just pay me $300 an hour and I'm going to be your coach. And then the thread, there was a bunch of people commenting and arguing and agreeing and all the things. And I didn't comment, but I thought, well, what do I think about this? I mean, now I'm a coach myself, and what are my thoughts? And I thought, well, you know what? The more the merrier. The more the better, because what it comes down to is results. If those coaches are getting their clients results and they're making their lives, or they're helping, they're supporting them, for those people to make their lives better, to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve, then the better the world will be, the happier, the world will be. So it really comes down to results. If those coaches aren't getting results, well, then maybe they need some training under their belt. Maybe they need to relook at, like, is this really for you? Maybe they need to get a coach to learn how to become a better coach, whatever that is. But every single coach out there has a very unique X factor, something that, sets them apart. And that's our differences, our personalities, our journeys, our experiences, all of these things. And I think that's what makes us beautiful. That's, if everybody was exactly the same, the world would be very, very, very boring.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. And even if you just chose to view everybody's differences negatively, what good is that anyway? That's it's not helpful, and that's self-defeating. Now, how what would you comment with regards to this theme as a mother of a daughter in particular?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because as children, we're told, don't brag, right? Or things like that. And it's like, like, don't be bigger than your britches, or whatever that old saying is. I think that may be more my mom's generation, but still, it's like, and especially for Canadians, we're always apologizing for ourselves, right? And so I think for my daughter, I want to teach her that pride is actually quite healthy.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think pride in itself isn't the problem. Pride is feeling self-respect, and pride is having self-worth, or a feeling of satisfaction with your own achievements. Right? And I think that pride is a big component in having. Oh, my dog is going to join. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, we're just going to go with it. My 8-month-old puppy wants to play. Right at this moment, all day long, he's just completely left me alone. He wants to join in the fun. So anyway, so I think pride is a big part of having a healthy self-esteem. So, when I was growing up, I have strawberry blonde hair, I had freckles. My name was Kelsey. So it's like when all my friends like Jenny and Tammy were getting their names on stickers, there's like pencils like that. I never had my name on anything.
Yeah, so, same here.
Yeah, right. So I hated the fact that I was different. I wasn't a blonde or brunette, and I wasn't even redhead. I had this weird strawberry blonde hair, the freckles. I was taller than everybody else. I had a weird name. And so I grew up like, not with a great self-esteem. I struggled for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, my mom didn't necessarily have the tools to help me see those differences as beautiful or unique, and what made me special. I think she tried in her own way. Of course. They do what they can. Our parents do what they can. And but now it's my responsibility to have those conversations with my daughter, about her quirks and her unique qualities, and her, the fun and cool things about her personality that she might like, feel are weird or different, or she went through the whole stage where she hated her smile, she didn't like her smile, things like that. So we just have to be aware and have those conversations, and she also has to have like, she has to go through the journey of feeling those feelings too. It's like, well, what is it about, what is it about that? Not like, no, you have to love your smile. That's, I can't tell her to love her smile. We can have conversations about why it's beautiful, why it's unique. I can give her examples of what I didn't like about me as a little girl, and now what I love about me as an adult. But also I think it's important that she feels those feelings, of being different, or feel those feelings of not being good enough, or whatever it is, so that we can process that emotion and then get to the other side and look at it as, beautiful, as a beautiful part of who you are, and also a part of your strengths.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
So, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes, I went off on a little tangent. The dog just distracted me.
They're very good at doing that, dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look very carefully over the other shoulder, that one, you can see my cat on the chair. He's being nice and quiet this time. Right. In one of my interviews, he started having a bath. So he's small, so he wasn't too distracting, but, you pick up on a little movement, and there's the cat having a bath in the background. So, it happens. This is the new COVID norm of us, doing these live and Zooms and things, and having our pets with us participating, whether we like it or not. Anyway, you touched on pride, which made me think of both of the character arcs, actually, and two different kinds of pride. So Libby's character, she moves in an arc from a lack of self-confidence, a place of lack of self-esteem and lack of confidence, over her own qualities and understanding, and lack of understanding of her own beauty, to a place where she is confident. But her friend Violet, the other main character of the book, is overconfident. She's downright vain. So that's another sort of that's the uber pride there. But her arc moves her to a place of humility, and where she understands that she and Libby are on an equal plane. Just because they're different, doesn't make a difference. So I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, for women and girls, on those two different, almost opposite journeys.
Yeah, they're opposite journeys, but they're both stemming from the same place, which is insecurity. Right? So, if you are, let's say, like, you're bragging, right? You're, that uber pride, or, with that, I feel like it's kind of like this bragging kind of energy. We're talking about something else, but it stems from insecurity. Right. And so, because with something like that, you're trying to make somebody feel less than you feel about yourself. Yeah. Or you're trying to feel better about yourself. So you need to showcase, your accomplishments, or you need to, showcase what's amazing about you.
Right. Your looks, in Violet's case.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, and also it's funny how people now talk about the humble brag.
Yeah. Right? Is there such a thing?
It's like, like they're self-deprecating, but it's like really an excuse to drop this, an important name or a high status kind of, detail or situation, a humble brag, and again, it comes from insecurity, as does the feeling of, low self-esteem or having low self-worth. Like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not attractive enough. That also stems from insecurity. But having to tell everyone why you are so amazing, they both come from insecure places, right? And I feel like that also, it's the same with people pleasers and bullies. They're both coming from a place of insecurity.
Okay.
Right?
They seem opposing, but they still come from the same place.
It comes from the same place. It comes from a foundation of fear.
Like a different reaction to the same thing, basically.
Yeah, it's all based in fear. Yeah, which is why when I was talking about, like, as a mother, my responsibility as a mother with my daughter, it's like I can't just tell her that she's amazing and beautiful and wonderful and talented and fantastic. If she's feeling a certain way about herself, I want her to talk to me about those feelings. I want her to process those feelings. We can't just pretend we don't feel, like junk, and then just go, okay, fake it till you make it. I mean, fake it till you make it works in some regards, but what's more important is that let's look at that insecurity. What is that fear? The fear of, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough for so many girls, right? And boys as well, but we're talking about, women and girls. Like, I'm not pretty.
I've emphasized many times, and I will again, that this, though, the focus is a lot on women, whether it's this book, Women and Girls, or otherwise, these kinds of issues, it still applies to boys and men. So I just wanted to get that in there. Go ahead, Kelsey, sorry.
So, no, not at all. So if, like, Violet's like feeling like I'm not beautiful enough, and she's just going to go overboard with how amazing her flowers are and how beautiful, like, and Libby's also feeling like I'm not, beautiful enough, so I'm just gonna hide. So I've got these weird spiky things, and so, but both are steeped in insecurity, which underlie, that with a foundation of insecurity is just, it's fear, right? And so they both go through their same journeys of processing, emotion, going through their journey, evolving, and then having a breakthrough. They both have an experience that allows them to break through and then come together, which is interesting because that's also what creates equality in this world, right? And so it's kind of beautiful that they both both go through their journeys, but it's all steeped in insecurity.
Yeah, well, that makes me think of yet another thing, the whole issue of polarization and how differences evoke fear and insecurity again in each other, basically. So that is represented there too. I was hoping we could talk a little bit about that timely issue. It's always an issue. Like, the polarization thing's always been around, but it's extra. It's just supercharged right now. Clearly, watch any news at all, and you know. But we, as I've been liking to say, we are all on the same windowsill. Even if you're of an African violet, you're all the way from Africa, and you come from this rainy atmosphere, like in the mountains, or a cactus that's prickly and comes from dry, arid desert in South America. You're sitting on the same shelf, though, right beside each other, and you can be friends, and you are equal, and all that good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, I think it, again, with how it relates to the book too, it's about an experience, right? And so when you have an experience, and you really are able to see you can meet someone and realize that you're having the same experience, and you can meet them on a level that, of oh, we're just humans having this human experience, right? And we all have the same emotions, and we all have the same fears, and but I think that allowing us to have those experiences allow that connection to happen. It's the avoidance, like, it's the same kind of thing. If we're avoiding our pain, if we're avoiding our feelings, if we're avoiding our emotions, we're going to stay stuck. If we're avoiding something that looks different, right, feels different, is uncomfortable, then we're going to stay stuck. Right. So I think it's really about experiencing, about stepping outside our comfort zones. That's how we grow. That's how we grow, is we stay safe, we stay within our comfort zone. Then sorry.
That's okay.
Hear my dog whining and crying. We stay in our comfort zone. We're not going to evolve. We're not going to grow. We're not going to learn anything. And so by having these experiences with whatever it is, with different cultures, people outside of our communities, whatever it is, different foods, music, exposing yourself to things, to new experiences, I think helps with that polarity that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So, and if you allow yourself to grow like that and develop, you then blossom, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Flowers.
Yeah. You bloom. You transform. It's transformational, right? It's transformational. You break through and you have a transformational experience. You are not the person that you were before, right? And we're all on this planet to evolve, right? However you look at it, we're here to grow. We're here to evolve. We're here to learn, and that's a part of that.
Awesome. And now let's just take a sec to chat about the other issue, which we have been chatting about, but specifically as it applies these days, what with Instagram and Facebook, social media, people presenting their lives in a polished way that might make especially younger girls and boys feel like their lives, they're just not as good. I mean, it just helps to contribute to insecurities that may already exist, basically. So
and here's the other thing that we have to remember is that, like, our brains are wired to move towards pleasure and away from pain, and every time we get a like on a social media post, we get a dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why it's so addictive, right? And so and we can, every single person that has an internet connection can do that endlessly. Right? They set up a social media account, and there's infinite ways or opportunities to put yourself out there, and then you get a like, and then you get a share, or you get a a heart, or you get a comment, and it's like a hit. You get a dopamine hit, right? It's like a drug. And so I think that knowing the science behind that is really important. But I think for example, with my daughter, she's looking at these Instagram stars, YouTubers. That's what, and YouTubers, and now TikTok. And there's these famous TikTok people who have 90 million followers, right?
Can you imagine?
And they're learning all the TikTok dances. You see all the girls like just walk, my daughter, just all she's doing is just practicing these TikTok dances constantly, which that's probably what I would have been doing as well. But I think it's fascinating to me, and I haven't watched that doc that everybody's talking about right now, but it's fascinating to me that people who work in social media do not allow their children to have social media accounts.
Right.
Or they really limit the screen time. We limit the screen time with our daughter as well. But it's just, again, for us, it's really about just having those conversations and constantly having those conversations about talking about, that how they are portraying themselves are not their real lives. Like that's how people watch those, like how I watch Saturday morning cartoons. My daughter watches TikTok or YouTube. That's how she watches her media. Like, it's, unless we sit down as a family and we have family movie night, then we're watching Stand By Me or, whatever. But it's like when she watches TV, she's on YouTube. That's how she consumes her media, or TikTok. So again, it's just about having these conversations about what's real and what's not. It's like, and I'm gonna, I can't remember this quote exactly, but you can't compare your everyday life to somebody's highlight reel.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what it is. It's like their highlight reel. It's filtered. It's the perfect video. It's the perfect lighting. It's the perfect makeup. It's the perfect, outfit. It's all, and that's what they're portraying. It's not real life. And so it's just, for us, it's really about having these conversations with our daughter about what the reality of the situation is, and then giving her outlets to be creative in her own way. My daughter's very creative. She loves to play music. She loves to sing. She loves to, to paint, and she's, a little artist in her own right. And so then if we have a Saturday or a Sunday night art night or something, then we can praise her work and showcase her work and send all the photos, send the photos to the grandparents or whatever, to really praise her in so that she knows that, what she contributes doesn't need 90 million followers.
Absolutely.
In order for her to, to do the things that she loves to do, and for us to champion her and celebrate that as well. It's hard though. It's a struggle. Like, but the other thing too is we went through it in our own way of, comparing ourselves to celebrities and things like that in our own way, and teen magazines and, whatever media that we were consuming at the time.
Yep.
But at least for us, it's become a priority just to have these conversations with our daughter regularly, and she'll go through her own thing, and there's some things we can control and some things that we can't. But but we talk to her about the addictive qualities of social media, and the dangers of it. Definitely the dangers of it, but it's a challenge. I'm not saying, we're not, it's a challenge. We're not doing it perfectly either. We all we can do is do our best.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now,
having said that, everyone out there, like and share this post.
Give us a dopamine hit, would you?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
very important.
A little dopamine hit.
And actually, also, I should, before I forget, and as we're wrapping up here, I will announce the winner of today's prize, Libby prize. The name that was drawn for today is Shauna. Shauna K. Sparlin. Congratulations!
Yay! Congratulations!
I'll be reaching out to you, so and she can get me the mailing address and stuff, and I can send her. What is she winning today? A bunch of cactus-related stuff. A copy of Disenchanted by Lee Goff, and a copy of Libby, the Libby Joanna, of course. So
nice.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Thank you,
Booker.
And again, I will leave your web address and other info in the comments, and also when I post this on my website, because these topics that we're talking about are issues that can often follow us along all our lives. And if you are a woman and a woman entrepreneur out there who would like to go deeper, Kelsey is a great resource, and she will help you, figure this stuff out. And this is just scratching the surface of all this stuff. There's so much there. So anyway, thank you so much, Kelsey, for chatting with me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It was fun. And thank you for being patient with the interference of my 8-month puppy.
Yeah. It's something I never mind. I love the animals.
Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks. Take care, everyone.